All right, so Khamzat, Boris, Chimaev, and Robert Whittaker are rescheduling their fight. And I'm willing to give leeway because I know a lot of people like to be hard on Khamzat. He's been not fighting as often as he should. And I remember going all the way back to the beginning of Khamzat Chimaev's career when he was just that non-ranked dude who was running through three guys in a single month, right? I saw something special in that dude. And I said, if he keeps this up, he's going to have the belt. If he keeps consistent, keeps throwing himself in there with the Wolves, he'll be running through the top names. But the only thing is he hasn't stayed that consistent. He got sidetracked, and you know what? Not all of it's his fault. He's had problems with health. And, I think that's the thing, though, is if I knew my immune system was like that and I knew that there was a possibility, I would try to get fights more often so when I have to back out for an authentic emergency, people would believe me a little bit more, if I were in his shoes. But then there's other stuff like the crypto stuff that, is happening. I know that there's some videos out there about that that makes people kind of scratch their heads and be like, whoa, But, hey, his hustles are his hustles. That's between him and the universe. So, But when he backed out of Robert Whittaker, I was hoping that it was a legitimate reason, and it turned out to be a legitimate reason. But I'm willing to give leeway and be on the side of Khamzat this time because they're rescheduling it for UFC 308 co-main event, 5 rounds. Because one of the things about the Usman fight with Khamzat Chimaev, right, is it took place with 3 rounds, and people were saying if it went 5, it would have been a different story. Maybe. We haven't really seen Khamzat go that full distance. But if they were to do a 5-round fight, he needs to do one. With Usman, I do think Usman's chances would have been better if it was 5 rounds. And with Robert Whittaker, he's like, yeah, give me a co-main event. Make it 5 rounds, please. How do I know if he's going to win that fight? I don't know. But at least he's making sure he's giving the fans exactly what it is they asked for. He's not shying away from 5-round fights. He just had legitimate reasons, And I guess we got to give him benefit of the doubt because a lot of people who aren't fighters don't understand just exactly what fighters have to go through physically, how many injuries they actually have to keep fighting themselves for. Like if I train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and I hurt my foot, I got to be out for like a week to let it recover. Fighters don't get that luxury. So a lot of people, they kind of just don't get it. When you're up there in the highest echelons, there's no excuses. So for Khamzat to have to be forced out, I get that there's no excuses, but that was kind of those pictures looked gnarly when I was looking at them, So he's under a lot of pressure. He wants to get back in there. Good on him. And you know what? I hope he wins. I would have him as basically an underdog with this fight, basically because the inactivity can sometimes catch up. But seeing how he went from fighting Gilbert Burns to how he fought Kamaru Usman, remarkable. I really feel like Kamaru Usman was a bigger challenge than Gilbert Burns by far, even with Usman, losing to Leon twice. And he proved us all wrong in that fight. A lot of people thought he was going to lose and finally catch a break, but he's exceeded our expectations. So growth is not outside of Khamzat's realm at all. But is he going to grow enough to beat Robert Whittaker? And if I'm not mistaken, Robert Whittaker also fought at welterweight, I believe. So let's kind of look at it here. The size difference might not be as big as we think. It's not like he's shooting up to fight like someone like John Jones or someone like that who's naturally like a 205er. So I don't think the size is going to be as big of a problem as we think. Now, it's definitely going to be a different feel than fighting Li Jinjiang, where obviously there's a big size discrepancy. But man, I'm glad that they booked it this way, the whole distance, because now Khamzat can make that comeback. But the one thing I do want to see is if Khamzat makes this and wins, I want to see him just be way more consistent because I hate seeing wasted talent in the UFC. And Khamzat Chimaev has way too much talent, to even focus on anything other than fighting right now. If he focused solely on fighting and kept in the mix and kept looking for fights and kept running through, yeah, maybe other fighters just don't want to fight him because it's dangerous. There's that. But I like it when fighters make matchups happen. Like when Conor McGregor had a fallout with RDA, what did he do? He fought Nate Diaz. And yeah, he lost that first fight, and it gave him a whole nother sidetrack to get to. But he kept the show rolling. And I don't think Khamzat has been trying to keep the show rolling as much as he needs to. And I think it's very within the realm of possibility, because if he keeps the show rolling, we could see him as a champion of one division, straight up. Maybe even two. If he moves up to 205 to fight Alex Pereira, that wrestling could give some problems. But all that's just a pipe dream. But first, we got to see step one. And that's Khamzat grinding it out, working, and making magic happen. That's all I got to say. I can't wait. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.